Oh, managed to get to an 8-minute one. Yeah. Well, there's some food sources in there anyway. All these midges don't drop the camera in the water, I reckon. Yes. But it's just, as I said, this is just, I don't know. I mean, if I don't start rambling on, you won't get anything this season. I don't think you got anything. Well, you got a bit of Tassie. I still haven't loaded half of Tassie up online yet. As I said, we came back, I started loading up, and then of course we had the cancer scare. You know, getting noticing nothing down in Tassie, but then suddenly you get like a divot in the breast sort of thing. I think, well, geez, it's pretty damn obvious, you know. For me, you know. Once you see that, you think, oh, that's definitely different. That wasn't there like 3 days ago or something like that. So, you know, it all's like stemmed out from there. Of course, on top of that, it's all this like breast cancer screening. The last 2 I bought in the house, but they were sort of like ignored sort of thing. And, you know, you can only do so much. But of course, now they have a new machine that does all the scanning. There's none of this tit squash that they have. It's all done with vertical, horizontal sort of scanners, I think. So it's all new now, and I think, well, that's the sort of thing you need to promote, so people, when the breast cancer screening things come through the door, you know, the women aren't so apprehensive about taking up the technology because they know there's new technology now that doesn't hurt. You just stand there and you go zzz, zzz, done, sort of thing. You know, it takes like 20 shots from all the different sort of, it's all done. You just stand there basically, and you know, it's all visually, digitally stabilised sort of thing. So, you know, you go vibrate quietly in the corner and it wouldn't even matter. It does things so fast that it wouldn't even blur the image sort of thing, you know. So they need to get this out because, you know, had we got onto this thing earlier, got it out all right, unfortunately, and there was no problems with the margins. Unfortunately, one of the lymph node nodules was a bit iffy, so that's why we got onto chemo sort of thing. But it's new chemo. They actually tailor it to you sort of thing, and you know, it's a lot better than it was like 25 years ago sort of thing. You know, we knew a family friend sort of thing who his first chemo, you know, first course of chemo, on the very first one he had a heart attack and died. So yes, wasn't good back then. You were actually risking your life to actually try and save your life, but now it's a lot better now. It's a much better concoction sort of thing, you know. Bit of night, bit of K-night, bit of potassium night and Bald Mountain, but you know, apart from that, you know, everything's hunky-dory sort of thing these days, you know. Apparently it's an accumulative sort of thing, so it's going to get worse and worse, and my partner's going to get like fuzzy in the brain sort of thing. So that's why I didn't do any of the drive-in footage or anything like that. And also our car, I noticed that the angle of the windscreen in this car is not like the Daewoo sort of thing. The Daewoo, you get a nice full, you know. I think that was the side track in you could have walked in, so we'll go back to that eventually, but yeah. But apparently there's 2 ponds down here as well that we didn't realise there was down here. So if you go past this little gate here and just walk right sort of thing, you can actually get down to a few other ponds as well. So I said, I'm not even doing this properly because, you know, yeah. Anyway, to get back to what I was saying, I've had this year is to try and get into chalk, which I've sort of tentatively got into my first few trials. And then next year is to try and blue something. We've already got the organism, we can make it go pink, you know, sort of pinky red sort of thing. We can make it go green. We can even make it go blue in the bottles with the polystyrene foam beads sort of thing, which I've shown you JPEGs of that. So the organism, don't know what the order is, whether it goes red, blue, green, or it goes red, green, blue, or it's blue, red, green sort of thing. Don't quite know what the order is as yet, but the idea is any part on the plant that is red ought to be able to be made to go blue, implying that the red parts of the plant, the organism, is actually in those parts of the plants, like the leaf bases and the traps and things like that. So, you know, if you notice all these things like Sericenia flava, it's yellow at the top, goes green, and down the bottom you have a red base sort of thing. A bit like Drossus gigantea. You have this massive glaucus plant, you know, sort of yellowy orange at the top, goes down a nice glaucus stem that gets down to a nice purpley red stipulate bud. You know, it's strong enough in the ground in deep sand for you to stub your toe in your Wellington boots and for it to hurt. So I don't, as I've said in the past, don't know whether it's just the way the plants grow naturally, sort of force you into them sort of thing. Sometime during the day you're going to stumble across one and stub your toes sort of thing. Whether that's to force animals into them, you know, animals that are around 50,000 years ago, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's the target prey for Drossus gigantea, actually large-scale animals that are not on the planet anymore. You know, they've been roasted out by the the Aborigines back then. Whoa, this is finger-licking good. So I think, anyway, apparently there's some ponds down there, but yeah, maybe we can get through and this one's going to be a long one, fellas, I think. 8 minutes, I think. How much have we done? Oh, geez, we're down to 55 seconds. I've been talking for 8 minutes. Can't believe it. I'm definitely going to have a notes at an international conference, I think, or slide notes or something to keep me on track, I think. Yeah, it's supposed to be a pond in here, something, so we might be able to get through down to it via this way as well. Lots of baumeria in it, I think, according to the some of the JPEGs other people have put up online. So, yeah. Okay. Hopefully we are in 1080p.